All right. So we're going to go ahead and start. You guys should have this first note written down by now. So I want to start our notes from now on with a goal, okay? And the reason why is because I want you to know exactly what this lesson is teaching you to do when you're flipping through your notebook during a test, okay? Because we may not always have study guides. That might just be a beginning of the year thing to help us get started. Because I know for a fact you won't have study guides like mine in high school. So I don't want you guys to get too comfortable, basically. I want you guys to push yourselves a little bit. But our goal for today is we're going to find M and B from a graph, specifically from a graph. And we're going to plug them into our slope-intercept form. Now we've got this new concept here called slope-intercept form. Has anyone heard of that phrase before? I don't believe so, no. Slope-intercept form, very simple. Very simple. Okay, let's go ahead and copy down what this formula looks like. Y is equal to M times X plus B. Does that look familiar to anyone?
Yeah.
I would hope so. That's right, it is your mama's ex-boyfriend. Tomorrow we're going to learn about boy yo mama's ex. Okay? We're going to change this equation up a little bit. But that's tomorrow. Today we're only going to focus on this. Alright? This is the slope-intercept form. Now we've been calling it our linear equation formula just to avoid any confusion as we get started with the concept. But now that we're more comfortable with it, we can call it by its official name, the slope-intercept form. And the reason why it's called this is because it's a formula, right? All letters, that's a formula, where we're going to plug in the slope and the y-intercept, M and B. That's why they're different colors. So put a cloud around this, put a box around it, do something to make sure you know that when you see the term slope-intercept form on a test, we're just talking about y equals mx plus b. Okay? So what are we going to do with that? Let's see. Let's go through some steps real quick. So, step one.
Graded for notes in high school?
No. I don't think, it depends on the class. History classes like to do like notebook collections and stuff like that where they grade your notes. But in math, no, you never get your notebook graded, I don't think. So step one is we're going to identify. That means we're not going to do any math. That's right, we're just going to look for the y-intercept of the graph. If possible. Right, we're looking for B. So this is where things are going to get a little bit different as opposed to our last unit. As we'll see tomorrow, we're not always going to see a y-intercept on our graph. If it's in between 2 points, like if it's in between 2 and 3, but you're not quite sure if it's 2 1/3, 2 1/2, 2 3/4, we're going to be able to figure that out mathematically. Tomorrow, not today. So we're identifying the y-intercept if possible. The second step, step 2. Starting at the leftmost point. And these steps are really going to sound repetitive. It sounds like we've already learned this lesson, right? Because we did. Yes, that's true, we did. But also, we're going to take it further as we go along. So we're starting with review. We'll bump it up tomorrow. Starting with the leftmost point. Count the number of units Count the units that you rise and run to the next point. And we know how to do that. Let's just rise over run. Step 3. We're going to put the rise over the run in a fraction. To find your slope, which, as we know, is represented by the letter M. Give you guys a second to write that down. And finally, step 4. Is to plug M and B into our slope-intercept form. And that is it. For the steps, not for the notes. Anyone not get a ruler real quick? I didn't take a roll. Oops.
I had a rule.
You didn't get a ruler?
I have a rule.
Oh, and give you guys a couple more seconds to get those notes copied down before we start our first example here. All right, so with your little ruler, go ahead and draw a quick coordinate plane. Okay, let's put the Chromebooks away, please. Yeah.
I did my notes at home.
Okay.
I think that's better. I'm just doing my notebook there.
That's fine, as long as you're like just halfway listening. You know. Let's do at least 5 notches on the graph. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Label your axes X and Y. So I want you to make your 2 dots, 2 points. One of them at 3, 1. 3, 1. And then your second point at 0, -3. And then with your rulers, just connect those 2 points together and draw your line. Great looking grass over here. Perfect. Good. Okay, let's go through our steps now. Step 1. What are we going to do first? What's step 1? Can someone read out step 1 for everyone?
Identify the y-intercept if possible.
Thank you, everybody. Identify the y-intercept if possible. Do we see a y-intercept here? Yeah, no. Where's our y-intercept at? -3, right? The y-intercept's wherever x is equal to 0, as you saw in the tables on our test yesterday. So our b value is -3. It's extremely hard to write on whiteout. I just made it look worse. Okay, there. That's a B. Okay, B equals -3. All right, step 2, we got to do our rise over run, right? So which point are we going to start with? Are we going to start with 0, -3, or are we going to start with 3, 1? 0, -3, right? How do we know we're going to start there, Rowana? That's right. It's the one furthest to the left. So we're going to start down here on the left. And let's count how many units we rise up. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 units up. And then how many units do we need to run over to the right? Just 3, right? 1, 2, 3. To the right. That was step 2, doing our rise over our run. Third step is we're going to put rise over run in a fraction. What was our rise again? What's our numerator going to be? +4. And what's our run? 3. So we got +4 over 3, and that's our slope. Finally, step 4, we take our slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. We're going to replace m with the fraction that we found, and we're going to replace b with the y-intercept that we found. All right? So this becomes y equals something x plus something. So whenever, yes. I know, we'll get there. We'll get there. So, yeah. So I remember what I was going to say. So when we see this word plug, right? It's not a very official math word saying we're plugging something in. It's like the kind of slang way of saying it in math. But all it means is replacing. We're replacing the m from our equation with the number that we found for m. We're replacing the b from our equation with the number we found for b. Right? So our m we saw was 4 over 3. Where's my white? So let's plug in our b value, -3, and we'll put it in parentheses just to keep that negative sign attached to it. We don't want to get confused or anything like that. There, I rewrote step 1 because it was bothering me how weird it looked. All right. We're almost done here. We only have to do one more thing, right? We don't want to leave this plus next to this minus sign, right? So what do a plus and a minus sign right next to each other form, everybody?
A minus sign.
A minus sign, a negative sign. That's right, because we're adding a negative number, right? If you're adding negativity to your friend group, then you're sucking all the positivity out, right? So adding a negative is like subtracting. It's the same thing. So let's rewrite this as y is equal to 4 over 3x. We'll write our slope in orange here. And then we have a minus 3 on the end. Okay, after that example, how are we feeling? Quick show of thumbs. I want to see everybody's thumbs either up, down, or sideways. How are we feeling about this lesson so far?
Good.
Okay. So here's what I want you guys to do. We're going to stop the notes right there. Okay? We're going to end there. So I need you guys' attention real quick.